one doctor, and I don't know, I think he was trying to hint at it, but based off of my insurance, honestly, based off my insurance, he only said as little as you could say without saying what he needed to say. That twists me a certain way. But anyway, what he said was, uh, stop eating white things, don't eat, don't consume milk or cheese, and what else? No bread. And I said, okay, now that is really fantastic. But you see, that was before I was diagnosed. And I had no clue why he was telling me these things, to be honest. And at the point that they were telling me those things, they just said, oh, you're a bit fluffy. Maybe you should lose weight and this. I'm like, okay, well, I've been fluffy ever since I left high school. You know, exactly, exactly. Look, I was out of PE when I was a junior, so there's no way that I'm going to be, what, you want me to lose weight? My weight came, my hormones set in, my hips spread out, I'm ready. I lose weight, okay, cool. Thank you so much. And you
Yes.
know what else he said? My daughter was there at that point. He said, you're a little obese. Okay, look, I don't care what if you call me fat or a hippo, but you know what my daughter, she heard? Mom, he called you a beast.
You're a
That was any anger that I had at that point was gone. A beast. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I remember attending, Danielle, some of the medical conferences when I first started blogging and podcasting. They had me
Yeah.
like a citizen journalist to report on it. And I remember they had all these discussions amongst these doctors. We can't use the word obese anymore. People take offense to that. I'm like, you think?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like honestly, because really, I mean, okay, when I was in high school, I was still 5'10" at that point. I say my height fluctuates at this point. Catch me early in the morning. I'm a good 5'10". But but I was 180. I was 5'10", 180. I'm a built female. My mom was a built female. My grandmother was a built female. I mean, if we were dragged out of the Amazon to come, well, there we have it. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way we were. But I didn't know that had anything to do with it really, because from what I knew, everybody was supposed to be skinny, everybody was supposed to be very thin,
Yes.
and everybody was supposed to eat like a bird. And I wanted no part of that.
Well,
I wanted no part of that.
like that is such a cultural thing that if you're fat, you just need to eat less, you need to move,
Yes,
your problems will go away. And I'm thinking, if that advice actually worked, everybody would be doing it. And
honestly.
we were all supposed to look exactly the same physiologically,
Yeah.
all the same characteristics. How boring would the world be? I want to see a girl with curves, I promise you.
Yes, exactly. Now
And
I have to tell you though, since I lost my weight through keto, my my husband, he's like, babe, I love the fact that you're healthy, but I sure do miss some of those curves.
well, let's see,
But
health or looks, you have to weigh
you
it.
know, exactly, exactly. He's like, I prefer the health, but man, oh
Yeah.
man, if you pick up a kilo or five, I won't be too upset.
So Danielle, you got on all those drugs,
I
circa
got him all those drugs.
17. Tell us the journey,
Yeah.
how you found keto.
Okay, now this is fantastic. It's crazy and I love it. And it's stupid how simple it was. I love to watch cooking shows. I'll watch cooking shows all day long. I'm that person who tries to make everything and maybe it doesn't work out, but I try. And I'm the one who says, I'm gonna learn how to make this from scratch. I'm laughing now because my daughter, she's sitting across from me, she's laughing, she's like, yeah, not everything works out. But but I'm that DIYer. I say learn how to do it yourself. You need to always know how to do things yourself so that way you can take care of yourself. If anything happens, you know how to make bread, you can catch a fish, what have you. So back to what I was doing. I was, on YouTube, just checking things out, looking for it because I love I love Gemma, Bigger Bolder Baking. But I was like, okay, this this part of my life, I'm probably gonna set aside for a little bit. I don't know what I'm gonna do because my dietitian, she scolded me so hardcore. My diabetic dietitian. Here in the Netherlands, I think they take it a little more seriously. I don't want to say that's true because I don't know. I can't cover everybody. But I came back from California. I was at 280 pounds.
Wow.
I left the Netherlands and I believe to go visit for the summer, and I was at 200 and I don't know, 250, I want to say. I picked up 30 pounds in that time frame. And I know that a lot of that had to do with hormones and all the weight and
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And but still, she was horrified. She's like, "What are you gonna do? This is not good. What we're gonna do? You're gonna die." She told me, "You are dying." And honestly, yes. Go ahead. Go ahead. I see your face.
What was your A1C when you got diagnosed with diabetes?
Oh my gosh. I don't remember what it was when I got diagnosed,
Maybe like 10 or 11?
but
Was it
oh,
high?
it had to be, yeah, it was super duper high
Okay.
because we were happy when we got to 9.
Ah,
We were,
probably
we,
it probably was
yeah,
like 13, 14 if they were happy at 9.
yes. And you know what? Now that you mention it, I believe it was 13. And then finally, when I got to her and she made me do the tests all over again, she said, "This is still not acceptable. You're not in a good place."
So those of you that don't know, A1C is like the last 3 months of your blood sugar. It's this key little marker, and the number is in millimoles per liter. We don't do millimoles in America. And so
No, no.
2 milligrams per deciliter as a blood sugar. A 13 is like 200 something as your
Yeah,
average
yeah,
sugar.
yeah.
Like
And
that's no bueno.
yeah, and that certainly was it. That was certainly always, always, always. When I finally realized that I was in a bad place after she told me I was dying, I was killing myself, really. Because up until that point, it was nothing. I was taking all these medications. I take that back. I stopped taking the medications because I hated the way I felt. I felt like crap. I was always feeling sick. I felt nauseous because I was up and down with the medications. I tried to follow it, and then I can't stand pills. I cannot stand medication. I know they have a place,
So
but
you were eating the diet that was no dairy, was no bread. What were you eating at this time?
oh my word, you know what they tell you to do and what you do as a patient are two different things, right? Because they said don't. But that's not what I did. And honestly, on this side of the world, they said, "Oh no, just take it easy. Eat whole wheat bread. You can still have your potatoes, just eat less potatoes. You can have this and that." So really, like honestly, I was like, "Wow. Well then, I'm just gonna eat then. You know, the stampot. I'm gonna have my stampot. Stampot
Yeah,
is delicious."
moderation.
Yes, moderation doesn't work with somebody who's a fiend at all.
And yes, a fiend. And then look, diabetes is a disease of carbohydrate intolerance. And so even a little
Yes.
bit of that, all those drugs you were taking, and you now know this as a
Yeah.
keto coach, and we're going to get into that in a minute, but
Yeah.
all of those drugs you were taking were merely covering up the effects of the carbohydrates in moderation
Yes.
that you.
Yes. And I can't stand that because, oh, let's just slap a Band-Aid on it. It's all good. No. But you stop taking that medication and you're slipping down the hill. I started muscle wasting and I didn't know what was happening. But, I studied as a medical assistant. I studied as a phlebotomist in the States. So I had a clue of what was going on with my body. I was like, oh, crap. Something's not right. But I'm on a bike. I'm on a bike every day. I ride my bike to work. I ride my bike home. I ride my bike to the grocery store. I have no car. I have no license here. I have no license. So it's not like I wasn't exercising, but I was still muscle wasting. I was still, losing weight, which looked great at the time, but it was absolutely not it was. I wasn't losing weight. I was losing muscle. I
Yeah.
was losing all those things. I was dying and I had no clue. Well, I had a clue, but I was just like, well, what are you going to do? Okay, fine. Take the freaking medication. All right, so I took the medication. I hate medication. It reminds me of addiction, of all those things. No control, not having that. I have issues with control. You can ask anybody. But but it made me look for another answer, and I'm glad it did because I was going through YouTube. I saw somebody on YouTube. You might know him. His name is Wes Shoemaker. He is the host, the creator of highfalutin low carb. He is not a chef, he's just a cook. And what he does is he tries out foods of everybody, from this person or that person blog, and he pits them up against each other and sees what's the best. And at first, I just loved the fact that he was cooking and he had a southern accent. And I just loved
Wrong with a southern accent.
exactly. I was just like, oh, listen to this guy. He's so cute. He's gonna cut your leg off. So, I was just like so enthralled with him. And he's like, look, so this has no sugar and this has no sugar and it tastes delicious. And I was like, what? And he's like, and this wasn't made with flour and this isn't made with flour and this is the way this made. I was like, what? And so, like, really, he was drawing me in with these recipes because, look, if you can give me good food, then I will follow.
Yes.
And that's what it was. I could not get behind all of that stuff that they were saying. And mindset, I have to be honest, mindset, I was not ready. I've come across a lot of my clients who are absolutely not ready. They think they're ready. They think they want to lose the weight, but they're not ready mentally for what it takes to do that. It means shutting things down. You got to
Right.
shut that mess down.
What was
Oh my goodness.
for you that was making you not ready?
Oh my gosh. You know what? I haven't dug that deep yet. Jimmy.
Especially with you seeing your own clients now, I think
Yeah.
what were those mental blocks? Because it wasn't a physical block other than you were
No.
being terrified by the medical professionals that you're going to die if you do
Yes.
things quick. And so, yeah, that would be worth exploring, kind of digging in. What was the mental block? Eventually you got over it though, because you started keto.
Exactly. Honestly, because if I think back, because I've been doing a lot of thinking back since actually I've been listening to you. I actually have to like first of all say I'm so glad you're on because I've done a lot of thinking back and I've made a lot of changes, like crazy changes, things I wouldn't even be expecting that I would do myself, like because I had to look inside. And I just put out, oh my gosh. I said on one of my podcasts myself, I said it's hard to look inside yourself because you find the skeletons. And then once you find the skeletons, you got to figure out, are you going to deal with those skeletons or are you going to leave them there? Because once you know, you have to handle it. Otherwise, you're going to be doing that same old thing over and over and over, and
Right.
you're going to die inside.
Right.
So finding that turnaround, oh man, you know what? I think it was knowing finally that I could eat.
Yes.
Honestly. And it sounds so simple. It sounds so stupid. Like, of course you can eat. You could always, no. Because what they were telling me is that I could eat, but I wouldn't be able to enjoy. You know what I found out? You know what I realized with you, Jimmy? Because it's funny. Because I was one of the podcasts you were doing, and I listened and I was like, oh my gosh. I was cleaning. I was working. And I said, I eat and I overeat and I take pleasure in that eating, not because I like the food, but because when I was younger, we had a scarcity. We had that scarcity of food. And when I ate that food, I knew that everything was okay. And so I overate so that way I could, and I felt safe.
Are you tired of playing the mask game? Me too. That's why I wanted to tell you about the Unmask. This is a breathable, completely breathable. It covers, you can't even see that it's breathable, but it's breathable. Whether you're going on a plane, having to go into a store and wearing this thing, playthemaskgame.com is how you can get this mask. They come in all kinds of colors and everything. In fact, right there, you can see right through it what it is, but when you're wearing it, it does not look like it's anything different, but it's breathable, baby. Playthemaskgame.com.
Man, you are digging into something really deep I didn't know we were going to go into today.
I was like, okay, am I going to still talk to him about diabetes? Because honestly, I feel like there's something more that needs to come out. But like, honestly, I promise, Jimmy, it was like, what? So I posted it. I actually posted it to, I don't know if it was Instagram or if it was to my Facebook, just because I had to let it out before I just let it stay in. Because if I didn't acknowledge it and if I didn't say it out loud, then I was going to allow myself to continue in that and not move forward.